Well, good afternoon, good evening, or even good morning, depending on where you are in the world. The sun's out. We've got all the rain is gone now, hopefully, fingers crossed. Obviously, sunny Spain. It hasn't been so sunny the last few weeks. It's been pretty awful. But actually, I've been ill as well, so that's the reason why I haven't been on. I haven't been doing any videos. So I'm back anyway. So bear with me, and we'll have another go, shall we? So riding up this road, I mean, I go out on my motorbike if I don't choose to fall off quite often, and I was riding up these back roads really from around my local area where I am. I've never really been up here, and they're all dead ends actually, because they've obviously planned to build something quite a few years ago when the financial crisis hit the globe. A lot of places got struck really hard in Spain, and there's quite a lot of builds that were started and never finished, and that includes roads. So I was riding up this particular road, and it stopped there where all the rocks fell down. And that doesn't mean to say we've had a landslide or anything. It's blocked the road. It means to say it never got finished, so it's unfortunate. But I do like these little areas. They're fairly fascinating. Anyway, so let's keep on. Let's get back to what we've been doing, what we've been up to. So I did do a little video of a bit of a music video and a bit of a la video. It was my first time back on my bike since I fell off and I got ill. Well, actually after that, the reason why I haven't been doing any videos is actually because I've been pretty ill the last few weeks. I won't dive into it. Well, no, I will dive into it. I've been quite run down actually, and I think the trauma from the injuries I sustained on the motorbike accident, which actually wasn't the motorbike accident, I was only doing about 20 kilometers an hour. It wasn't very fast at all, to be honest. I wasn't going very fast. It was that I tried to evade a speed bump and tried to go to the right of it because I was being a bit intimidated by a car behind. And in Spain, they just drive a little bit too close. And it was nobody's fault really but mine. I was too busy looking in the mirror, seeing what he was doing, and I tried to evade the speed bump just so I didn't slow down too much, so he didn't, contact the back of my bike. That said, there was a rock sticking out the side of the road. I hit the rock and the rest is history. Bike landed on me. I became unconscious, and with my helmet on, and got up, and the local Guardia Civil, they were pretty good, to be honest, and the local residents were all pretty good. Everybody, well, the people in the car behind, they apologised, and it was all, it was all amicable. It was all good. It was good. The only downfall is I did suffer a couple of, I had a massive hematoma on my right thigh. I hurt my right ankle. Obviously it was all right hand side generally. Normally when I hurt myself it's always left hand side, who knew? And actually I suffered really bad headaches. Now obviously with headaches and stuff, when you're going through cancer, or you've had cancer treatment, or or even you're thinking, why am I getting headaches? Well, I actually started thinking stupid thoughts, because you can't help it. When you've got cancer, when you've gone through chemo, or when you've had cancer, it's hard. It's really hard not to think that it's not back, or you haven't got it again, or it's just hard to keep it out your head. The hardest part in life is trying to control your mind. So what I did, I tried to ignore it. Now it was hard for me because I was getting dizzy spells and everything. I didn't go to the doctors because I just knew I would end up going through the bloody Polo Mint, the CAT scan. I'd end up being poked and prodded, and I don't really want it, to be honest. I've had a lot of treatment, I've had a lot of things going on with my cancer. I just didn't want it, to be honest. So I thought, well, if I work hard on trying to not ignore it, try and make myself better. So that meant I stopped the gym. It meant, actually, I did cut down my water intake. I don't really know why I did that. There wasn't something I planned on doing. But I stopped eating too cleanly. I mean, I didn't go back to sugar and eating junk food and all that stuff. I just had more easy foods, you know, stuff that my wife would make, you know, like spaghetti bolognese and lasagnas and things like that I wouldn't normally eat. Not because they're not nice, just because I just generally prefer cleaner foods as in no sauces and things like that. But actually I stopped all that and went on to eating, you know, more stodgy foods, if you like. And I think you have to, and it's something you do learn as you go on, you know, with cancer or after treatment. And it was something that I've done, and actually it worked for me. You know, and this is a bit of a learning curve for me, because ever since I was attacked while I was going through chemotherapy, I'll do another video on that anyway, and I was injured quite badly. So I had to go to the hospital and have a few injections, and, you know, just make sure I you know, the injuries I sustained weren't going to be life-threatening, because when you go through chemo, you've got no immune system. So remembering on that, knowing that I've got a really low immune system, what I wanted to do was try to make myself better quicker. So eating plenty of food. I mean, I'll put a couple of pounds on. I've got my chin's come back a little bit, but I'm not so bothered, to be honest. I'm not so bothered. Christ, I'm in my mid-40s. I shouldn't be that bothered, really. But it's just I'm trying to keep this junk away, to be honest. I'm trying to keep this cancer away, and that's pretty much my way of doing it. So the injury, getting back to the injury, you know, I just ate as much as I could, you know, to the point where I started to feel better. I relaxed as much as I could, and went to bed, and, you know, just didn't do a lot, to be honest. That's why I haven't been out anywhere, you know, even doing things like this, you know, going in the middle of nowhere on my bike. I just didn't want to use that energy, you know, and not waste it. I just didn't want to use it towards this. I just wanted to keep that energy to make myself better. So now I feel better. I mean, you can see, I mean, you wouldn't even know even when I was ill, to be honest. I just don't tell anybody. But I just decided I didn't want to do any videos because of that. Let me just change arms. I've got a sore hand. So that was my reason. Now I feel great. I feel great. The only downfall now is, obviously my new job is quite a lot to take in. It really is a lot to take in. You know, and me being an ex-fighter, a bit punch drunk, and, you know, and with all the chemo and stuff, you know, shattering your brain, if you like. It's been a lot to take in. It's I wouldn't say it's a difficult role. It's quite a hard role. Not in the, you know, not in the sense where it's hard because I can't do it. It's hard because you're trying to keep it in and retain it. And I'm doing okay at it. I'm doing okay. So that's the reason why I didn't really want to come back on and do videos. So now I'm back and I feel great. I've got a couple of mouth ulcers. I've been struggling with mouth ulcers. Normally mouth ulcers, for the people that don't know, mouth ulcers generally are when you've got a low immune system. Well, no, it is when you've got a low immune system. What you'll find is, me as an ex-fighter, you'll have, all boxers will tell you the same. You've got like splits and marks inside your nose from where you broke your nose, or like my nose has been rebuilt and mine's a new nose. It looked very different to this a few years ago, so it was quite flat and quite lumpy as well. So I've got a lot of scars inside my nose, and what happens is when you get run down, it's ever so weird, you'll find that you'll get a nosebleed, and it isn't a nosebleed coming from your head or anywhere else, or blood vessel burst. It's actually your scars opening up. So when you get run down, you hold scars inside the soft tissue inside your nose, which is the same as inside your mouth. It's all the same area. They tend to open up slightly, and you get sore nose right round here and things like that, and that's where generally most of the scars are from fighters. And also inside your mouth. Now, I've got scar tissue inside my mouth, obviously, because I did gypsy fighting and bare knuckle fighting and stuff like that. So I got scar tissue inside my mouth, and those open up quite frequently as well when you get run down. Now, the mouth ulcers come because that's just your body's way of telling you you'll run down, you need to slow down. So I've got one huge big mouth ulcer on my tongue now. I had one in the back of my throat. It's hard to believe, actually, the piece of skin in the back of your throat, the flappy bit. Can't remember what it's called. For people that have had chemotherapy and stuff like that, generally normal people won't get it. But I had a huge mouth ulcer on that. I mean, it looked like someone just snipped the end off and let it go mouldy. So I had one of those. I had one on my tonsils, which is even worse. It's horrendous. That's probably the worst I've ever had. And now I've got one left on my tongue. Now those aren't from because I run down per se. I think those are more from the injuries I sustained falling off my bike. And it took quite a long time to get over them. So that was my body's way of saying, look, come on, calm yourself down. You know, it's telling me I need to relax. And obviously, you know, with my life now, my way of life, I have to relax. I have to keep calm. And so does everybody else who's gone through chemotherapy. So that's that really in a nutshell. Now, what I want to quickly touch on as well was... I'm seeing a lot of stupid nonsense on Facebook. There's people that share it. It gets right up my nose, to be honest. And there's nonsense about chemotherapy. It isn't the cancer that kills, it's the chemotherapy that kills. Now, I suppose a lot of the time there are people dying of chemotherapy. Now, the problem is there's too many people that believe social media. I don't. I got quite a strong mind. I'm still here. I'm very strong-minded. That's why I'm still here, I suppose. Now, I don't believe any of that nonsense because I've done my own study. Now, I do believe that chemo would kill you if I chose to sit on the sofa and do nothing, watch TV, go out with my friends and get hammered and have sugary cocktails, go on holiday and eat junk food at an all-inclusive holiday and just put far too much weight on. That for me would serve me right, and that's when chemo would kill. And people would say generally people don't last 5 years. I'm over 5 years. This is my 5-year turning curve. I am celebrating 5 years after chemotherapy. I'm still here. 150 tumours, one taken out so they could treat me. 6 months of intense chemo, R-chop chemo, and I'm still here. So don't listen to all that nonsense because that really does irritate me. It's down to the individual. Not every case. You know, there are people that are really, really ill, you know, as I was, and their bodies just can't cope with it. So, for me, most of the time, I'd say a large percentage of the time, it's down to the individual. Like I said, if I sit in front of the TV and watch Jeremy Kyle or watch Jerry Springer or watch The Simpsons or whatever, some nonsense on TV for 15 hours a day and eat absolute trash, it would serve me right. And anybody that's watching this, that's doing that, stop. Get out there and find a path like this or anything. This is pretty much the countryside. This is a dead end. I come to dead ends to do something because I choose not to watch TV or eat junk food or drink sugary drinks and too much alcohol. That's me. That's what I do. Anyway, so let's just shut up, Palmer, for Christ's sake. Going on now. So thank you for watching, everybody. Do your thing, like and subscribe, share it, do whatever. Even if one person learns from this, my job done. Anyway, see you all next time. Peace.